Hello and welcome to Garden and Allotment Tips podcast, hosted by Gardening with Ben. If you've not checked out Gardening with Ben podcast, go over and have a look at that one. There's over 130 episodes for you to listen to. So if you've not listened to it before, you've certainly got plenty of listening to do. And that one is an award-winning one as well, as voted for by Grow Your Own magazine. So, this is a short podcast. It's usually 5 minutes long, where we just talk about some gardening tips and gardening advice to suit the time of year. And I think this is possibly my second one of this year, so hopefully we'll be getting lots more episodes coming up on this podcast. So today we're going to be talking about raspberry canes. Raspberry canes. I do love talking about raspberry canes because they're complicated. And why are they complicated? Because there's two types of raspberry canes. There's a summer variety of raspberry and there's an autumn variety of raspberry. The summer variety of raspberry will grow obviously in the summertime, usually early on in the summer, and the autumn one will usually come out towards the end of the summer and beginning of autumn. And there's a big difference in the way that these grow, because the summer variety of raspberries grow on the previous growth from the year before, on the cane what has grown the year before, whereas autumn raspberries grow on the new cane from that year. So the reason why I want to talk about raspberry canes is because you need to be pruning them now. You need to be sorting them out for the year ahead, and you need to get it sorted fast, really. It's one of those jobs that should have been done, and if you've not done it, it needs to get done. So get it on your list for this weekend and get it done. And once we've explained how to do it, hopefully you will be able to do it for the year. So autumn raspberries, what you need to do is you need to trim them all down to the base, because like I say, they grow on the same cane that has grown that year, so you can just cut all them to the base and let them grow. Hence why I always suggest to grow autumn raspberries, because they are the easiest to grow, because you don't have to worry about thinking about which canes have grown that year, the previous year, and not cut them ones down, if you get me. It's confusing to say. So autumn raspberries, you can just cut them to the ground and all the new growth this year will grow the raspberries on. Whereas summer variety of raspberries, what you need to do is you need to cut down the canes that had the raspberries on last year. Now you may be able to tell because there may be traces of old raspberry branches on the cane, which will help you be able to tell which raspberries are. So you can prune them ones to the ground, but all the new growth ones you need to leave for this year, because they're the ones that will grow the raspberries on them. And what I tend to do with them ones, I usually tend to snip the top off each of the canes, just because it helps it bush out and it helps it focus on growing more trussels on it and providing more growth into the raspberries, helping them to swell, because it's not concentrated on growing the cane either. And it's always good to support them as well. When you're growing raspberries, it's ideal to grow them either against a fence, against chicken wire, against a wire, so that you can tie them to it so that they won't bend over and snap and get eaten by squirrels, slugs and stuff like that. So spend a bit of time, do a bit of maintenance on your raspberries, tidy them all up, and if you've got raspberry canes growing where they shouldn't grow, move them onto the area that you can just dig them up. They will be on a root, so just snip it off the root and just move it to where it needs to be and line them all back up again. Just tidy them all up. And then what you need to do is I usually put some chicken pellets around the base of the raspberries, just to add that bit of food and nutrient into the plant, to give it that energy for the year and to give it that kick start. So that is basically how I look after my raspberries, and every year I get a fantastic crop. I started possibly with 12 plants and I've now got possibly about 100 canes growing, because they just grow and grow and grow. They're worse than weeds, to be honest. They can take over your plot if you're not careful, if you don't look after them. So that has been our little podcast of gardening allotment tips podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do click that subscribe button if you've not clicked it already, then you'll get notified when new podcasts are released, and they are released quite regularly. And if you've not checked out Gardening with Ben podcast, go over and check out that one as well. It's on every platform going. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, remember, keep gardening, keep smiling, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts.